Hi everyone, I'm Yukta Mhota, a high school senior in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm a member of the Lagos Interact Club and I aim to help people and connect with them. Born in Kolkata and raised in Lagos, teachers know me as a bubbly person who loves to interact and take up creative projects. I aim to someday be an entrepreneur. Today, I'm here on behalf of the Teen Pop magazine. The Teen Pop magazine, which is the first online magazine for high school goers that gives young aspiring journalists the opportunity to share their voice, build their writing portfolio, and receive peer feedback and mentorship in the editorial industry. If you'd like to write for them, check their website, theteenpop.com. This interview is in coordination with the Teen subsidiary Grow with the Teen Pop campaign. The Grow with the Teen Pop campaign is a campaign whereby we promote NGOs and help support them in their cause. Today, I'm in conversation with NGO representative Nandini Sehgal. Nandini Sehgal is a student at Lagos, Nigeria. She has been a part of Robin Hood Army India and has also joined Robin Hood Army Nigeria soon enough and has been working tirelessly to comply with its vision. She wishes and aims to continue to work with such organizations to make the world a better place. As I am also a part of the Robin Hood Army, I can advocate that it is a volunteer based, zero funds organization that works to get surplus food from restaurants and the community to serve the less fortunate people. Their local chapters are run by friends and colleagues who hope to create a difference in their own unique way. How are you doing today, Nandini?
I'm doing very good. I'm very happy to be here today.
So, Nandini, my first question to you is there
Yeah.
a linear or progressive style of starting an NGO or foundation?
Yes, because when you start anything, there should be a progressive manner in which you do so. So the first thing that you have to keep in mind while starting an NGO is the legalization. So legalization, when you have the user funds in your NGO or something, so you have to be in you have to keep it transparent, and if in need, you have to take help from the government or things like that. So the first step you need to know is the legalization of the NGO, and we are in our journey to do that. The second thing that you have to remember is funding. But since we are a no fund organization, we do not require funds, and we don't need that step. But the other thing is that you have to treat your NGO like your own business. So you have to start small. You have to start, with a little people, with little number of people, with a little resource, and then make it big. So I think with the same strategy, with the same thing, you have to make it bigger and bigger with each day. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing your amazing plan. I hope it inspires others to also start without hesitating. Now, can you walk us through the process of developing or starting an NGO?
So the process of developing or starting an NGO is a very simple process, to be honest. You just have to, first know your passion. So out of 10 things that you do in a day, one thing should be done to, save the world, to help people in the world who do not have what you have. So I think the first step is finding your passion, and with that you will be able to do it. The second thing that you have to do is finding the right people. So once you know what you're trying to do or building an NGO, you have to find, maybe it's for hunger, maybe it's for the old people or something like that. So for that, first you have found your passion. Second thing that you have to look upon is your targeted audience as well as the people who are going to work with you. So first comes the right people you choose to work with you. That can be either your family, your friends, or your colleagues at work or something like that. Then comes targeted audience. So you have to first come up with a strategy that will tell you the targeted audience. So maybe if you're coming up with a strategy mainly for teens, so those children or teenagers can combine. So you have to first also research about it. So these are a few processes, starting from finding your passion, finding the right people, then a strategy, then a research, then your targeted audience. So all these things combine up, and then the execution of your plans and strategy. So all these things together will make up an NGO.
Nandini, that definitely sounds like a very strong plan, and I hope your NGO really succeeds. Now, can you describe your organization and your perspective of what the organization aims to do?
So basically, our organization, that is Robin Hood Army, which is like present in 200 cities right now, with a volunteer base of 60,000 people, more than 60,000 people, in fact. So basically, basically we are aiming at eradicating global hunger with everybody, nobody should sleep hungry. That's the main thing. So you have to we don't accept funds, so we are mainly about donors who can donate food. So I think the main perspective of the organization is basically getting more and more donors, making the world a better place, and then nobody should sleep hungry. So I think it's eradicating global hunger as a whole. So what I think, my perspective towards it, that if I eat 5 packets of biscuit in a week, maybe say 5 packets of biscuit in a week, if I eat four, that wouldn't make a difference. But if I can give one out of those five to somebody who is actually hungry, it will actually make a difference in that person's life. So I believe that out of those 5 packets, if I can just, eat four and give out one, that will just, make the world a little better place. So I think if everybody starts to do that, nobody is going to sleep hungry.
It's definitely a very thoughtful thing of you. So now talking about the funding, how has your organization been able to source and manage a fund?
So basically, as I said earlier, we're a no fund organization. But again, coming to if I take the question in the form of donors, so we try to create more and more awareness. Like, it's a cycle, it should be a never ending cycle. If I tell 10 people about it, those 10 people tell 10 more people about it. So I think, we can't really do anything about it other than creating awareness, other than telling more people about it, because we do not use funds at all. So getting funds from anybody doesn't make sense, because again, as I told you, 60,000 people working in 200 different cities of the world. So obviously, it has to be a transparent thing. So that is the reason we need only and only donors in kind of food, clothes, things that can be used instead of money. So for that, it's mainly that we have to spread more and more awareness about it, because people still are not aware of such organizations present. So that makes it a better place.
Yes. Nandini, research shows that donors are becoming more informed about how NGOs spend donated funds. From your perspective, what's the percentage that an upcoming NGO should spend to cover overhead?
So basically, again, because we are a no fund organization, we do not use any percentage of it at all. But again, talking about it, of course, donors are becoming more informed about it, because as we take something from the donors to give it to the organization, there's a script or a entire page that we have to write about how much we have donated to it. So the donor knows that the food, or in kind, that clothes or something that they have donated to us to give out, has reached the actual place. So I think that is very important, because once the donor is satisfied, then the donor will encourage more and more people to donate, and then it becomes a cycle.
You've already, like previously, you just mentioned about you inculcating it as a part of your life, putting your life into perspective. When you sense fear or discouragement, how do you generate confidence?
So I think the best way to do is self introspection. There are so many times that you hear people, you listen to so many things about going on in the world, so many bad things. Even now, like this year has been not, it's not been good for anybody, honestly. But like, towards that also, you sense discouragement. You just now at like the time in Nigeria, we're not able to go out for drives. So, the only thing we can go ahead is with the social media. So that's why I think the best part we can do is by social media. And of course, talking about how to gain the confidence, it's self introspection. You have to just remember what all you have done earlier, or what you are doing right or wrong. That's the best part, because you will see, obviously you're going to see so many things that will discourage you, that will instill a sense of fear into you. But the best part is self introspection, so that will make you feel a little better, and then that will get the confidence back into you.
Being a volunteer myself in the Robin Hood Army, what is the hardest part of running an NGO? Like, what are the daily obstacles that you need to combat to keep your NGO afloat?
So basically, in this situation, living in Nigeria, I do not think a lot of donors will trust our organization with anything, whether it's just food or clothes. So the best or the most important thing that you have to do is, get up with your social media. You have to, bring that sense of trust in the donor. So I think that is the most important thing. Getting a donor at this situation is difficult when people are losing out on their jobs, on their daily living. So the thing is that they have a question in their mind that why should I donate? Is my food or it's whatever I am donating, is it going to the right place? So I think that's the most important part, because nobody is in a very good situation now. So if people are able to give, that's a very good thing. But otherwise, also getting more and more donors, I think is the most important thing that we have to do.
Well, Nandini, we know and we've talked about it that and me being a volunteer, I know that the RHA has come a long way, right? We've covered. It's been a long journey. We've reached a milestone. So, to the people who are watching this and probably thinking that they can't accomplish what you have accomplished, what would you say to them?
I think I'm no different than any other people. I'm also from a middle class family, like all other people living around me or people that I talk to. But I think if out of 10 things that I do in my day, maybe 1 hour I can just give to this something, just out of 10 things that I do in a day, one thing I can do this to serve somebody else, one thing that makes somebody else happy. I think that's what is very important, because I can do 10 things to make myself happy and do, keep myself busy. But one thing if I can do to keep somebody else happy, to fill somebody else's stomach, then I think that makes a lot of difference.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure talking to you. If you'd like to know more about Nandini Sehgal or the Robin Hood Army Nigeria, stay tuned with the Teen Pop magazine.